Now, if I had brought Grid Legends at launch, then I definitely would have made a video talking about the For the Time Extend Crew trophy being its most BS one, as this trophy required you to beat all of the launch elimination events found throughout the career. This was a long, grindy trophy that often required you to play other events in order to unlock these specific elimination ones, and they were found in all of the career from the rookie section all the way up to the pro, so there was quite a few of these elimination races that you had to do. And you'd think the elimination events would be pretty fun, smashing up the cars or something, but no, all it is just a poxy little timer that slowly counts down and will just eliminate the last two people in the race, and it will just keep doing that until there's only one car left. But the problem is, that timer is so slow and there's such a long delay between each elimination that it just drags these events on far longer than they ever needed to be. However, what makes it BS was that it was originally a glitched trophy, which of course it was, as this is a Codemasters game after all. Remember all the issues we had with Dirt 5? Well, it seems like they simply didn't learn from their past mistakes, resulting in yet another Cody's Platinum that was temporarily unobtainable at launch. Now, I'm not sure how long it took them to fix this one, but hopefully it was quicker than the Dirt 5 trophies, and hopefully they didn't make much of a mess as they did with that game. But at least by the time I started to play Grid Legends a year later, when it was free on PlayStation Plus, this trophy unlocked correctly. So for me, it wasn't BS. So I guess I'll just leave that trophy there and instead talk about another trophy in Grid Legends that, while not glitchy, was still very annoying and frustrating to go for. And it is of course the Passione Rossa trophy for unlocking all of the launch Ferraris and gaining access to all of their tier 3 upgrades, as this was a right pain to get. The first problem you'll have is just determining which are the launch Ferraris and which aren't, especially if you brought all the DLC. It can be hard to actually tell which ones you need to get, and it's not really clear how you buy them or find them until you search that garage menu and find where they all are, because you'd think they'd just be ordered by manufacturer, but instead they're ordered by like the car type and events. But there's multiple Ferraris in different car classes, so you can easily miss them if you're not careful. The next problem you'll have is just actually unlocking those cars, as in order to get them, you don't just simply buy them from the garage. Instead, you have to play some very specific career events and win them in order to get those Ferraris. So this Grid Legends for me is a game that just absolutely loves to waste your time and makes everything an absolute grind, especially the career progress, because some events will be locked until you've driven enough miles in a specific vehicle to gain access to the stage 2 tier upgrades. And whenever I saw an event like that I needed to get, I would just roll my eyes, because there are certain events in the game where you have to do it in the one beforehand. But imagine that one beforehand is just a one event race, and it only takes you about 4 miles around once you complete it, and you need to do 35 miles. Well, shit out of luck, aren't you? Because now you're going to have to replay that same event multiple times just to do the miles, and that is absolutely BS in my opinion. It made the career a real slog to get through, and having to do even more events in that career mode to get these Ferrari events and unlock the cars just adds to the pain that I felt when going through the career mode to try and unlock that gauntlet to get the trophy for that. So after unlocking all of the Ferraris, your work isn't done yet, because you'll still need to drive in all of those cars just to get enough miles on them in order to unlock the tier 2 upgrades. And even with the perks that you can buy and the mechanics pass, you'll still have to drive a lot of miles in each vehicle. 35 miles doesn't sound like much, but it will still take you quite a while to do it. And I would definitely recommend you using the race creator to create a custom event on a basic oval track set to about 15 to 25 laps in order to give you enough miles to just get this all out of the way. But You'll have to do that for every single one of the 9 Ferraris, just driving around this pointless oval track, purely for the miles to count up. And yes, while it's not as bad as that mile trophy in the original grid, it's still a ball ache to just have to do this, especially when you haven't really got any more reasons to go to the career mode, because you've already got all the trophies for that, and now you're just left with these cars that you've got to drive and just make up races. It just gets really boring, and it did feel like a bit of a grind, this trophy. There's even a Ferrari Cup in there, but I didn't even need to do all of that to unlock the trophies. You'd think that would have been the perfect place for them to put all of these cars, where every time you complete one of the events, you just unlock that car. But no, they're just scattered in random ones. I just didn't really get it, and I didn't really enjoy this platinum journey, to be honest. And this trophy just, it added to the pain, to be fair. And while it's not that bad, and it could have been a lot worse, I still think it's bullshit having to drive around and do 35 miles in all of these vehicles to unlock the upgrades. How about you just buy the car and then you can upgrade it if you want and you have enough credits? You shouldn't have to do this extra bit on top to gain access to them. Or maybe if you just win a race in the car and then win a couple of more, you'll get access to more upgrades. But having to just drive pointlessly around purely for the mileage, it's just rubbish, and that is why this is that other bullshit Grid Legends trophy. Thanks for watching.